about my background, but let me just tell you that I am the congressman, not only for Northampton County, but for 23 other counties in North Carolina. My district starts way up in Elizabeth City, which is a long ways from Northampton County. And the district comes along the Virginia border all the way to Car Lake. And it makes a left turn and cuts into Warrenton and Henderson and Oxford and Creedmoor and over to Durham. 100,000 people in Durham in my district. And then it makes a turn and cuts back into Rocky Mount and Wilson and Goldsboro and Houston and New Bern and back to Elizabeth City. That's a very large area in the direction of African American history. I love to talk about African American history. I did not major in history when I was in college. Didn't particularly like it when I was in high school, even though I tolerated it. I really didn't get a full appreciation for history until I got in college. And when I got in college, the whole world opened up to me, and I then connected the dots and really figured out the importance of really knowing history. If you don't know your history, then you're bound to make some mistakes. You know, the old folks used to say when I came along, if you don't learn from your history, you will be enslaved by your history. And so we've got to understand history. And in order to understand African American history, which is a sub-part of American history, you cannot talk about American history without talking about African American history, because they are related, they're intertwined. You cannot separate one from the other. But if you really want to came to North Carolina, came to my hometown of Wilson, North Carolina, and met with black leaders and said, I'm Mr. Education at Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. I'm Mr. Education. I want to be the education leader in this country. You tell me what you need in North Carolina. And they said, Dr. Washington, what we need is schools. Up in Northampton County, there are no schools for black children. None. Nothing but these little one-room schools. Over in Halifax, no schools. We need schools. Booker T. Washington said, well, go to the school board and tell them you need schools. We've done that. It won't work. We need schools for our children. We've got thousands of black children living on farms all across Northampton and Halifax County who have had no educational opportunity whatsoever. And Booker T. Washington said, I get it. We went back to Alabama and went to a very rich man who served on his board of trustees at Tuskegee named Julius Rosenwald. Rosenwald was a rich man. He was the Bill Gates of his era. He was a rich man. Booker T. went to Rosenwald and said, Mr. Rosenwald, I just left North Carolina, and I saw the saddest thing that I've ever seen in my life. I saw thousands of black children. Now remember now, these black children back in 1900 were your great-grandparents. I want you to make that connection if you're from Northampton County. I want you to know, Mr. Rosenwald, that I just left North Carolina, and thousands of black children are living on farms, and they can't read, they can't write, they're illiterate. Boards of education will not give them any schools to go to. Please, Rosenwald, use your money. God has blessed you with a lot of money. Please use your money to make a difference in North Carolina. And he did. Rosenwald started writing checks. He built 5,000 schools. The most number of schools that he built were right here in North Carolina. And if I'm not mistaken, 21 Rosenwald schools were right here in Northampton County. 40 some were over in Halifax County. Rosenwald used his money to build these nice schools, not as nice as this, but he built, they were nice for the day, built Rosenwald schools. Now I want you to go home, if you got anybody in your family or community who's over 65 years of age, ask them. This kind of surprised me a little bit.